My nigga.
The news started like that. Who's is that?
No, that's just this.
My nigga.
That's just Denzel.
right?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Yeah, I actually sat down and got some fucking.
Love that shit. Love that shit. That's the we used to run an open mic with a soundboard.
Oh yeah. You were just telling me
That
about
shit
that.
was nuts. Back in the day, we all types of sounds.
Okay.
But then it became a lot of inside baseball, so it was like half the sounds would be like other comics who would say like certain things all the time that we'd play. So it's like they'd come up and then we'd play their sound, which was like real corny, but
That's hilarious.
yeah.
You should play like an entire set.
Yeah, oh yeah, we got this
Like-
one dude. We played his full bit because he was about to do it for like the 50th time. It was so funny.
That's hilarious. So
Yeah.
you would you record the open mic?
Yeah, sometimes the open mic would get recorded, and then you could split off the audio and everything. And then but we had comics who would come like every week and like for like 2 years and do the same bit. So we got like there was like 2 or 3 of them that would do like the same bit every week, like every week. So we just like recorded it once and then we played it back. We played it back for him before he could say it.
I feel like there was a lot of that pre-pandemic
Yeah.
here in Orange County. There was because the scene had a lot of comics and stuff, and there was a large portion of comics that would. You knew, like you could hear the first like 3 words of their set, and you're like, you'd literally be like, you'd hear people go, "Fuck."
Yeah. you knew when the people, because the comics would start. It started with like they'd set the intro up as if you'd never heard it. It'd be like, "Hey, has anybody seen, Grey's Anatomy?" And then everyone would be like, you hear the breathing in the audience.
Yeah.
It's like, no. And then they're like, all right. And then they just we got them. We got them real good one time.
Yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst is when you hear them ask somebody a question lazily, and they do that every single time.
Yeah.
They're just like, just don't do that. Just
Yeah.
don't ask the question.
Exactly.
I find myself doing that sometimes, like entering into bits I'm like asking a question, and then I like try then to stop myself once I do it a couple times in a row.
Yeah.
Like I've been asking people like couples if the dude's jealous. You're like, are you a jealous guy? You a jealous guy?
Yeah.
You get jealous? Because the bit's about me not being jealous and my girlfriend hating that.
Right. Now, see, that's not that bad. But what I'm saying is like when you introduce your bit the same way every time. So you ask that question, like let's say like the bit starts as like, "Are you jealous?" Blah blah blah, and then you just ask like a room full of comedians that you've seen every single week. You know what I'm saying?
That's
yeah,
terrible.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and those are usually the comics who are like the loudest about writing and stuff. Like, "Oh, you gotta make sure you write." And I'm like, dude, you intro, you do the same bit every week to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, so. It's just it was we did that once. That's a great way if you think about it. If you do the mic, I know you guys still do what you call it, right?
Leg day.
Leg day,
and
yeah.
nice bits on Thursday.
Yeah, start saving up those. Saving some of them bits. I'm telling you. I mean, you probably really it gets under their skin for sure when their bit just goes out and then you're like, okay, what else you got? That's why we did it.
Oh, that would be. I've thought about doing some different things with leg day. Like I've thought about doing a thing from the back, but it's just giving too much power to other comics.
Yeah.
Like basically doing a thing like with the God mic, like doing some type of mic that revolves around, I don't know, I gotta come up with something about God. And then there's someone on the God mic that is possibly interjecting, or at minimum they could possibly interject but maybe all they would do would at minimum they would interact with the host. Sorry.
Yeah.
At the minimum is when the host goes back up, maybe they'll make a joke about the set, but then it turns into kind of roasting people that were just on stage.
Yeah, you got to find the right people to do something like that, because like you're right, it does become a thing where everyone's like, let me give it a chance to, and then it's like you're throwing off the rhythm of the mic, you're taking too long. Yeah, you're just like you're not helping.
Comic.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it was like that's a good way though to make the comics work. I do think that's a good idea. You know what I'm saying?
I do that sometimes. I haven't done it in a while, but I've done it sometimes, and it's usually me messing with the host. Like I would do it to Drew a lot. Like when he would host the mic, it would be me messing with him or making fun of something like that he did or something he's like doing wrong.
I did a heckle mic in Austin, and that was just like the whole audience just shouting at you.
Yeah.
Shouting insults at you.
Those are great.
You do your set for like 1 minute,
and then you just
and then like a bell dings, and then there's like 3 people that are like judges or panelists, and then they're roasting you.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
That's way more organized
the
than
audience
what
is
I've done.
roasting. Yeah, I guess they're there to balance it out, so like they could kind of interject actual funny things,
Yeah.
so it's not just fucked up shit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but what's the point? Is everybody's yelling kind of at the same time?
it was pretty chaotic. I
They
I
always
kind of was
do,
just like, hey, oh, okay, yep, I suck. Oh, yep, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
There's two ways. There's two ways. We used to do it, like you said, a heckle mic in Chicago, where it was like, but one of them was just straight chaos. Like you couldn't even go up and do anything because people were gonna yell at you. They could throw. It was at this really shitty bar, this divey bar, and like people would like throw shoes at the comics. Like that. It's legit. If you were bad, people would start throwing shit at you. Like, yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But there's another one that was really organized called Power Hour, and it's very simple. Like you just there was a drinker who sat on the stage the whole time. It was a different comic every week, and they could sit on the stage and drink for free. And then while they get drunk, they can heckle you and like talk to you. And then you do your set. So you're like trying to interact with this guy who's getting progressively drunker throughout the night.
Oh man.
And then by the end of the night, they go up and do comedies, and then everyone else can heckle them. So you're if you're the drinker, you are
Oh, you're like wasted.
Oh, I've done it a few times. You are pissy drunk by the end of the night.
That's funny.
And then
I like
everybody gets to heckle you for being an asshole. So
that. I really like that idea.
yeah, it's great. I mean, it's not like copyrighted. Like, fucking do it if you can. If you can, it's a fun show idea.
We can't give any heckle power to any of these local comedians here.
Yeah, you got to be careful. That's why it's like one at a time, or like you said, three. Like you don't let everybody fucking do it, because that other one, like I said, it was just like straight chaos, and like you just go up, boo. They wouldn't even say your name. People start booing. You can't tell a joke. People will come up on stage and like I saw these two dudes fight one. I've seen people get up and like dance during a set. I've seen like it's funny. It was so shitty to watch newer comedians like come in and like this is like your first or second set ever. I saw this a few times.
Yeah,
And they'd
yeah.
be like, yeah, it's my first or second set. I'm so excited. And I'd be trying to be like, hey man, just like just don't base your whole career off of this. And then they get off stage and they're like, I'm never doing. What is this? That's so messed up. And I'm like, we drunk in here. You know what I'm saying? So it's. Yeah, you definitely gotta like be careful how much power you give.
I've had
to
that
the people.
situation at Nice Bits. It was a dude who it was his second or third time ever doing comedy, and he didn't move the mic stand out of the way, and he had a very good set for it being like his second or third time. Like the set was, I was like, wow. Like when I found it, I said like, oh, the set was all right. And then asked him how long he'd been doing comedy, and he was brand new. And I was like, oh, wow, let me reiterate that was good. You did very good for how long you've been doing it. I like the jokes. The crowd liked the jokes. And then I was like, you're very close. Like the finalists that we already have were really close. So I have to like see if I wanted to trade this guy out and make him a finalist and send somebody back. And I said, look, since you didn't move the mic stand, I'm just going to use that to say, since everything's so close, move the mic stand away in the future. So it's like, that's like just a pet peeve. You're not going to go on.
Right.
And so then I guess he made a comment that I didn't even hear. He like said something that the other judge heard. And then a couple comics later, like I got up and went to the back, and I even found this guy because I knew a lot of times with the new comics, like I'll go find them and like just be like, hey, good job.
Yeah.
Like just keep doing it. Like don't get discouraged because you didn't. And when I went up to give him a fist bump, he didn't fist bump me, and he just went like this. He just went like that. And he's like, what happened? And I was like, you had a okay, like in the grand scheme of things, that was an okay set. Like,
but see, in his mind, because the second time, he's like, I'm supposed to make it off of this show. You know what I mean? Like, if I won or if I'm famous now. So, like, you, Kenny, fucked up my chance.
Ego's already off the charts. He just started commenting.
Oh yeah. How was he a young kid? Was he like a
he was definitely younger than 25.
Okay,
he was 25 or younger.
Yeah, that's the age. I'm telling you, when I was in 17, because I started at 17, from 17 to like 22, 23, you could not tell me I was like not good on stage. Like I would fucking stab you if you told me I wasn't good, even though I was god awful. You know what I mean? Like, so that ego is there, especially when you're new, because you just think like you're so excited to do it too. Like comedy gives you so much like energy, especially at that age. You're 21, 22, getting used to the world. You're coming out. You got this talent you found, and it makes you, you're not like a singer or an athlete or something, but you're still in front of people, and you're kind of like, a big deal for 5 minutes or whatever. You do a mic or something like that. Like that feeling just like gets in you, and you're like, I'm a fucking man. Like, who the fuck is this guy? You're like, hey man, wait, it's like it's whatever. Just come back and like keep trying. You know what I mean? But nah, at that age, you think you getting on fuck. Now Comedy Central doesn't exist, but you think you getting on something like the next day. Like he's already working on his special. Like these people are crazy nowadays, man. They don't have any concept of time or practice.
How did you feel? How did you feel? Because you guys basically both started at the same, like around the same age, right?
Yeah.
How did you feel starting at 17?
Oh, I felt like all I could talk about was masturbating, and nobody could relate to me.
Yes, I feel you. I feel you don't have anything to relate to. It's very surprising.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Math test is tough.
Yeah.
That girl broke up with me. What's up with you guys?
Now, were you out here? Were you out here in like California starting? Or
Yeah,
did you start-
Long Beach.
Long Beach. Okay, yeah. So it's like at least you
LB.
started in like a city type of area. I was like in a small town, so it's like at 17 in a small town, like masturbating is all.
now the whole town just knows you jerk off.
Yeah.
Well, I used to tell this bit that was horrible back. Like now, I'd probably be like sent to jail, real jail, if I told it. You know what I mean? It's not that bad. But I used to say like, if I was the last, if me and this girl were the last people on earth, then like I'm just forcing myself. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to say rape, but but that was essentially the punchline. You know what I mean? And I did this bit from like 17 to I was probably like 19. We went to this college. We went to UNC actually. And 19, I did this bit at the college, and I got booed so fucking hard. First time ever I had been like booed.
What was the premise?
The premise was basically like, sometimes girls don't want to talk to me, and they give me attitude, So now my response to them, because some girls came to me and said, I wouldn't sleep with you. We were the last people on earth. And so I would be like, man, if we're the last people on earth, bam, you know what I'm saying? That was so I used to.
Did you at least have a clever punchline, man? Like,
Nope.
like if we were the last people on Earth, you better run.
No, not at all. It
No?
was literally you're getting.
Oh,
that was the punchline.
man.
Yeah. Oh, and I would yell it. Dude, oh my god.
What
yeah.
year was this?
This was I started comedy in 08. So 08, 2009,
Oh, yeah.
2010.
I mean,
yeah.
I couldn't imagine the power that you had in 08 and before as a comic, because
Yeah.
I imagine there was a lot of that. Like, even if you were getting booed off stage in certain atmospheres, I still imagine that joke. I imagine that still did well.
Oh yeah,
at
cancel
that time.
culture did not exist. That it was we were getting close, but it didn't. Cancel culture didn't show up till Trump showed up. So it was like I in that first couple of years, especially 08, 09, you know what I mean, like before Obama became president, I was just like. You know what I mean?
That's why at the end of the day, I feel very lucky for myself. I know you guys both started young. I started when I was 30, and I feel lucky because if I started at a more common time, like as a young, like even if just early 20s, then I would have been starting in the 08, 07, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there, and I would have been. I would have started it more in a time where all that stuff was more.
Yeah. You gotta think at that time, it's like, the people who are like, comedy legends are like the Patrice O'Neills or the this real crew. Opie and Anthony was like the biggest thing out at the time, which is all like Jim Norton, Rich Voss, fucking like guys who just say disgusting things at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like that's the type of comic everybody thought they had to be, and I think that I think starting at 30 is better. Like I as I got older, I would be jealous of the comics who started later in life, because at 17, it's like you said, it's masturbating, it's rape jokes, it's like stupid shit that don't like really matter. You know what I mean? And they don't like have any substance behind them, and there's no clever punchline. There's like, you better run. I should have if I had been saying that, I'd still be doing that joke to this day. Like honestly, you know what I mean? Because it's like it implies it without saying it. But I'm 17, and I'm just like, I just want a reaction, you know what I mean? Like it's just, you don't really treat comedy very technically at that age. You just want a reaction, so it's no timing, there's no nothing like that, you know what I mean? So I just like I'm definitely like jealous of people who start later, because I think that's better to do. Live a little life first and then start telling some jokes.
I would have ruined my you know how I am. I was like a worse version when I was younger. And so, because I can be combative, that's what I'm getting at. Like I can be combative with my peers at times. And so I would.
Nah, man, I never got that at all, bro. What you talking about?
I was a worse version of that when I was younger. So I would have burned a lot of bridges. Like
Yeah.
I already burned enough the way that it's worked out starting at 30, but I would have burned a lot for sure. Like I would have just been telling everybody to fuck off. Dude.
Right. But that's what supposedly was cool, you know what I mean? And it's just
Yeah.
like, you know, like you just get older and you learn what really matters, you know, to people. And it changes too. Comedy's subjective and it always changes, but just being like a regular dude and not an asshole is always going to give you more longevity, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why I don't understand when it's like when funny comics are like battling each other, like not battling, but when they are butting heads or when they have like a real issue with each
Real
other.
beef, yeah.
Because I feel like number one, there's really it's not really anybody against anybody, but if it is anybody against anybody, it's whites versus blacks. No, I'm just kidding. It's, if there is,
Age-old rivalry, baby.
and I'm
outnumbered.
and I'm playing both sides. Look, it's a transition.
Actually, no, it's pretty even because it's like half, and then it's kind of like a color spectrum.
Yeah.
Blood.
It's like a pH scale sitting right here. It's pretty cool.
No, I think because comedy is something that anybody can do. Like literally, obviously, if you're just a comedy fan and you watch professionals, it just seems like, oh yeah, there's professional comics. But if you go to open mics, anybody is doing it. And I think because of that, I think if there's any position, it's like funny comics versus unfunny like people try, like still. I won't even say unfunny, people that are still trying to find it. And that's more of like when I don't want to have an issue with anybody that's funny. Like I'm like, even when I do, I'm just like, ugh, like what's the point of this? This is just wasting both of our time.
Exactly.
We could just move, even if we're not going to be friends and we're just like not going to be chill with each other or something like that. We can just move on from this, and it doesn't need to be like, we don't need to be butting heads still.
No.
Like,
No, you don't. And again, that's like then again, that's a beautiful thing about being a little bit older when you start and basically seeing the forest from the trees. You know what I mean? Like your pride is not so tied up in fucking like having to be right. You know what I mean? You just want to see everybody succeed and everything. And you're in a unique position where like you run a club too, so it's like you have to be a little bit more diplomatic and everything like that.
Tough place to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes because people expect things from you, and you can't always give it to them.
Yeah.
So they take it personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wild thing is people are like looking for my approval a lot of the times, and I'm like, and it's when I say this, it's again, it's new comics, it's like newer, like it's kind of just how it goes.
Yeah.
But it's still at the same time, it's like they're just not understand. Like it doesn't even matter. Like it doesn't matter what I think.
Right.
Like
it's like what that owner thinks is just like he wants, like you said, ass and seats, right? Did you ever get the ass and seats speech?
Yeah.
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 I mean,
No, but I'm very, very lucky where I'm at is I don't really get messed with at all.
Mm-hmm.
I give myself that speech basically because the way I've always thought about it, I just think it's all fleeting. It's all fleeting. Like I don't own the entire business, so they could decide that California's not working out. We're going to close it down. We want to go another direction. And like, there's just so many different things that could happen along the way at any point, and I'm not in full control.
Yeah.
So it's like fleeting to me. The way that I've thought about this since I was there, it's funny that we're doing this now. What's the date today?
The 21st?
The 27th will be 6 years.
Wow.
That have been there. That was the 6 years. The first time to the first show I ever went to, one of Evan's first Next Wave show, and ever since I've been there and started doing anything there, I think about it as like downhill skiing, with no poles, and I'm just like going on momentum, and I'm just like I'm fucking here for the ride as long as it will.
Yeah.
As long as it'll carry me, which is like I think good and bad at points. Like I probably should have been focusing a little bit more on outside shit a little bit earlier than I had been. It would have been helpful for me. But I also do like the angle of like I always call it like getting the cart. I'm actually getting the cart before the horse or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making it back, like just trying to become as funny as possible and getting as much time as I can, and truly doing that by being at the club week in and week out and doing that for years.
Yeah.
And then being like, oh, it's easy to go. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like I watch comics feel pressure. Like I watch people do different auditions for things and stuff, and you can watch them feel pressure when it's when I'm like, oh, like I know if I go somewhere, I'm like, oh, this is literally it's like just it is the same thing everywhere.
Yeah.
If there are real people sitting in those seats that showed up knowing that this was a comedy show, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Dude, that's very healthy. And a lot of comics don't realize how much easier it is to be funny in an actual club as opposed to everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? And like, if you kept that mentality where it's just like, these people are coming to laugh. You already have what they want. So just like, think about it like that instead of being like, you know, like I said earlier, where it's like, I have to make it off of this show. You know what I mean? Like, this has to be the show where I go well. Some Italian dude is in the back with a cigar and is like, "Kid, you got it." You know what I mean? And then like that doesn't happen. So just like, yeah, it's like going to the gym. I mean, it's the oldest analogy in comedy, like you said, because of leg day. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get swole off of one workout. You know, so. That's I mean that's all I don't know how we got into that, but a great way to wrap it up.
Just whip your dick out.
Bro? Let me see this. Let me see this right here.
Yeah.
This is gold, solid gold, baby.
If you're bombing, you take your dick out. That's what I always do.
Have you ever done comedy like naked?
No, have you?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't think I don't think I could do that. I feel like the closest I've done comedy in just with my shoes off.
Yeah.
It would just, and that didn't even feel right. With just my socks, I was like, this isn't right.
It's really dumb. It is. I honestly, I
can't do it in shorts.
good stuff.
Yeah,
It's good stuff.
I can't even just have my calves and shins naked.
Dude, don't do it, Nick. Man, you're not gonna find out. Like, I used to think that I was like real sexy. I'll be honest. I thought I was like sexy as hell, and then I did comedy naked, and I just found out otherwise. And so I was just like, I am never doing this again. You know what I mean? And nobody is thinking about the jokes.
No, dude.
All.
Almost all of us on Earth, almost all of us look like jello-y, blobby, fucking weird.
We're people.
Gross.
Yeah.
We've been wearing clothes, and so our skin indents into like itself.
Yeah, comedians are not, and that's the thing though. The best, why? Because like in a lot of ways, you're funnier and you're more relatable, and you're a better comic if you're not jacked up, super hot. You know what I mean? Like, and that's like kind of the goal of a comedian. You know, so it's like it makes sense that we wouldn't have the best bodies. So like, but hey, I mean, like I
Unless
said,
you're Matt Rife. Imagine him doing naked comedy. That like.
Oh yeah, Matt Rife is apparently
Everybody in the audience would have like a heart attack probably.
Yeah. I'm telling you, dude. My mom sent me a text being like, "This is the guy you need to team up with right here."
Don't you love it when your parents?
She legitimately in this text said, "He's the funniest thing I've ever seen." LOL, I'm sorry.
And you're like, Mom, I do. I do this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to run a business and everything. She's like, nope, this guy. That's so funny when your parents hit you up. My dad used to text me all the time and be like, man, I'm be honest, dude. Like, I'm watching SNL, man, and I'm just like, you should just do it. He would, and he'd do this like weekly. He'd be like, just call him up and like get on, man, because like you should do it. And I'd be like, okay, well, yeah, Dad. I got to the point where I was just like, yeah, I'll try. I'll try to hit him up. Because your parents don't understand the ins and outs.
Your dad calls you with Lauren's number.
Yeah. I just got coffee with this guy.
I just met this guy. He says something about SNL. He says he works there. His name's Lorne. I got his number for you.
I'm like, honestly, my dad, he's weird. He just like ends up meeting like famous people out of nowhere. He works at Enterprise too, so I don't know how this happens. He works at an Enterprise in Texas, in Houston, Texas, and he keeps meeting famous people. He met like Future once, you know what I mean? He met like all these people, so I wouldn't be surprised if he like ended up with Lorne Michaels' number. You know what I'm saying?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, because you're renting. I mean, that's a thing. I guess you always meet people when you're doing something that everyone does. Something like I'm sure you meet people if you work at the DMV long enough in certain areas, especially like if you work like certain LA DMVs. I'm sure you see famous people because it's like they can't get out of going to the DMV.
Yeah, I knew he my dad is because he's a dad, so he's like, I met this guy, he called himself Future, so I go, where's the past? I was like, oh God, can you need to use that one. That's another thing my dad always
I queued up Huey Lewis in the news in his car when I hit it.
He was so proud that he said that entire. He was like, yeah, I mean, I was even in the break room telling him, I was like, yeah, I just came and said, he's the future, where's the past? Like, come on. I was just like, all right, man, that's what's up, bro. I like that.
Fuck yeah, that's hilarious. That's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, it's a great intro right there too, man. Did we start? We did start. Right?
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
know
no,
if
I'm
I
like,
was
no, we're just getting our vocals warmed up.
I was
I
like,
guess
yeah.
I didn't introduce you guys. But it doesn't matter, man. That's why I said that's what this podcast
No, I'm
is.
vibing. Yeah,
Hey
I'm
Kenny,
vibing, dude.
hey Kenny, it's Kenny. This is entry number 12, and I'm here with Dwayne Murphy Jr.
What's
and
up?
Dakota Freeman, some good friends. Been seeing Dakota more lately, and then I haven't seen Dwayne in a while.
Nice.
So
It's very interesting. I see how you did that. You know what I mean?
It's good to get everybody together. Well, that's what I want to do with the podcast. People have been hearing this the last 3 episodes probably because I feel like I've been saying it a lot lately. But I just want to get people together and fuck around and
People together that you don't normally like bring together. I think that's
Yes.
a very good
whites and blacks, dude.
whites and blacks, baby.
That's my life.
What's up?
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually get another one of these, and it's gonna be down the center, and it's gonna have white on one side and black on the other.
But then like the
And I
black
always
dude-
sit in the middle.
Yeah, and then the black dude sits in the white section, and the white
Yeah.
dude sits in the black.
No,
section.
and then you switch halfway through. It's like, and then like at one point, you guys both have to be like, "We're both people."
oh no! You know, yeah. I think I can.
And then I'll get a drop that's like the Family Matters, like music, like we learned something today,
right,
like
right.
music.
Do you like at the end? You get the black person gets to decide if y'all can say the N word or not. Do you think you should add that to,
Yeah.
to the show? I don't know. I don't know if that might trend. I think that would trend. You know what I'm saying?
100%. That's like the I can't think of what company, but there's just that content where it'll be like an empty studio,
Mm-hmm.
and they just film things like that. They're like, let's put all the people with long pubes on this side and the people with short pubes on this side, and we'll see if you can tell by their personality how their pubes are.
when they're standing with the blindfolds. You see those videos? Where
Yeah.
they stand in the blind, like guess who's black, guess who's white, but they do it with pubes. You know?
Yeah,
what I'm
100%. He's like, yeah, they'll be like, guess their race based on their job.
saying? yeah. I'm
This isn't racist.
Yeah, this woke stuff is really coming full circle. I really have to say, it's like, are we being woke anymore? Because this is like, yeah, guessing black and white, guessing who's a cop, who's not, guessing like, it's always like who plays football, who doesn't, and then it's like the white dude. It always ends up being the white dude plays. It does like the shit. I'm just like, what is happening right now? What am I watching?
So I just don't think it's real. I don't think anybody cares about it. I think it's like something that exists on the internet.
Yeah,
And then in person,
Like,
in
wait,
like
wait.
the smallest, like all the people are grouped together. So it's like I guess like some colleges and stuff like that. So either people, it's their entire life, or it's not their life at all, except for like people. I mean, do people come up to you after shows and stuff and be like, "Pfft, it must be hard telling these jokes with this woke culture? Like,
Nah.
no, people say that to me, but no, I'm like, no, nobody.
It's always like an old dude.
Yeah,
like
it's
an old
it's
guy.
always an old white guy who's like, we can't say it anymore, can we?
and he's like, I don't know why he feels like he's like, man, that's why, and he's always like, that's why I like you. That's something that's the sentence he uses. That's why I like you. You tell it like it is.
It's just old software. It's just
Yeah.
like noticing this is just a sad thing, and just realizing that eventually, I guess that's the goal is like I'm trying not to become old software, right? So I'm like trying to be like, oh, like I mean, dude, I was one of the big, like, this is actually like a huge life lesson to me. I think about this a lot, especially when people are talking, when it comes to like changes and you can't say this and say that, and me like really in my head being like, dude, am I going to go along with this? Right. Is the gay N-word. Right.
Oh, okay.
I did not want to stop saying it. I came up with so many excuses on
Wait,
why.
what is the gay N word? Is gay the wait?
No,
what is, wait, you
the
gotta-
N word for gay people.
Right. Oh, okay. I got you. Oh, yes.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I like.
Okay.
I like
Okay.
referring it to as.
Okay. Yeah.
I like
The gay
refer.
N-word. I got you.
I
I
like
got
referring
you.
it to.
I got you. Yeah.
So I'm telling you, dude, I was a huge proponent of it.
yeah.
And I mean, and I would hit the trope. I'll hit the tropes. Like if I start talking about it, I even look. I'm gonna tear up right now talking. No, I'm just kidding. But the tropes of like, I don't say it out of hate.
Yeah.
It's a term of endearment
This is when you need that Family Matter music, right?
for
Right
me.
there.
Yeah, like I said it to people I love, not people I hate. I didn't say it for fighting. I would say it to like my dad and my brother or my best of friends.
And then it cuts to you like looking out a rainy window. Just
And I would never, ever say it to a gay person.
rain. No, Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I hit all of that stuff, and then just to realize, like, look, dude, I'm not gonna go up to any gay people and be like, "Hey, you're cool with me saying it, right?" And they're gonna be like, "Yeah, dude, it really isn't a big deal." Like,
Right.
no, you just. And I gave it away, and I think about it every day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
The
a
one that
very
got away.
Yeah, I think it's a very it's a sign of it is a sign of maturity. It's also it's okay to grow and evolve, right? It's okay to be like, hey, this is something that I have made. It's been a part of my life. Saying that word or talking this way or treating people like this has been something I've known, but I see now as I got older and I interact with more of the world how it needs to change, right? Like I grew up in church, okay?
Yeah.
So it's same thing where you grow up in church and you grow up as a child to an adult with these opinions of these communities and how you need to be around these people. And then the older you get, the older I got, the more I'd be like, my mom would my mom has asked me what would you do if your son, ends up being gay? And I'm like, why? I'm like, what? Why are we even talking? Bring me to the bar. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm with you, dog. Whatever you doing. You know what I mean? My wife doesn't know if we should put him in ballet. And I'm like, yo, I'll take the class with, you know what I mean? Whatever he does, I'm wearing a shirt that says, that's my dog. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay to let yourself grow and evolve and, change like that. You know what I mean?
The wildest thing is when people that were over the age of, I mean, realistically, people over the age of 18, but I'll go higher and say people over the age of 35 when I was a kid, I just remember so many people saying being gay is a choice.
Yeah.
Adults, just interfacing with the world their whole life. You've been doing it for 35 years and you look around and go yeah, they're choosing it.
Right.
It's a it's so wild. Some of that stuff is really fucking insane.
Nah,
but I guess it's pre-internet as well. So the amount of information that you can take in.
Yeah.
It'd be wild
too, because you don't gotta meet. They probably haven't met any gay people or
Right.
have any gay friends or.
I'm sure they have, but the community, when the community has a temperature that's a certain way, people were, not gonna be open about it. You know what I'm saying? Definitely pre-internet. I think that you were more influenced by what was around you, in the real world, better than searching and finding those opinions, that information on your own. You know what I'm saying? And it's been a great benefit, I think, to everybody. There are benefits to the internet. You know what I'm saying? It's not
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that I think that's something that people have been able to grow and adapt to the point where it's it's almost weird to have the conversation now. You know what I'm saying? When there's an athlete who came out on the Raiders. Who was on the Raiders? Ryan Nassib.
Yeah.
When he came out, and said he was homosexual, and he was just I don't even know why we got to do this. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, honestly, I hope you are. And then dogging on the field. You know what I'm saying? You imagine
get over here. You fucking tackle somebody and then suck their dick. That's so crazy.
Pancaking a dude, then be like, and I'm gonna fuck your brother. It's yo, that is a mind warfare. You need that on the field, bro. That's for real, dude. I think that's only helps you out. You know what I'm saying?
There's actually a coach in the NFL today that came out. It's the first in any major sport to be it's not a head coach. I didn't recognize who it was.
Yeah?
But a coach came out today.
Even a position. I mean, even at a position coach, I'm sure that's a big deal. You know what I mean? It's especially in the NFL. That's the last bastion of masculine and all that shit. You know what I mean? Coming out as a big. Remember when they announced there was a woman coach? You know what I mean? 2 years ago, they were like, "Hey, we got women coaching." So it's that place is.
I just imagine the gay there's nothing wrong with having the gay coach, but I just imagine the gay coach is 10 push-ups, boys. Drop down and give me 15 right now. You guys were acting like assholes out there. You need to get it together in the second half.
It's if you don't make me blast, it's raining men. You know that means we're doing fucking up downs. You know what I'm saying? That's man. I'm sure practice will be real lit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Speaking of NFL, Dakota, are you a football fan, Dakota? You know what I mean? Do you do because football's coming back?
No, not at all.
I was waiting. I was.
Not at all.
I was. The pause was longer than I would have expected. So I didn't know if I was. I was like, wait, are you? You are? I didn't know this about you.
This is the dynamic you're looking for. You know what I mean?
Did you grow up with is anybody in your family football fans?
Yeah, everybody in my family is a football fan or
What do you have like a family team? Do they have like a family team or?
Yeah, my uncle has always been into the Bears.
Okay.
Bears?
A lot,
Oh, shit.
And then my dad's Cowboys. And
Okay.
then-
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Your dad knows what's up,
Nice.
man.
That's nice. Now, why? How come you? What steered you away from it? You know what I mean?
Just a black sheep.
Black sheep.
Just different, man.
Oh, I thought.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought you was about to say the black people. And honestly, I'd have been like, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was about to be like, oh yeah, I get it. No, I don't think you
He
was
was
at all.
like-
No.
He was like, it was the 90s,
Yeah.
right? What year were you born, Dakota?
90s, yeah.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
it was the 90s, different time.
No, different time. I mean, that was like, what was more your thing? So you're not football. What, like
Well,
more?
More like, I guess, like horror movies and
Okay.
nerdy stuff.
Right. Now, what do you think classifies nerdy? Because it's like like anime or like comic books, that type of stuff. Because now you would say that is culture now. You
I
know
guess
what
so,
I mean?
yeah. Yeah, I guess. I mean, back then, it wasn't. That's what's crazy about anime, how, like, cool it is. I see all these, like, 14-year-olds with anime shirts. I remember,
Yeah.
like, my friends.
And they're the
stuff.
cool kids now. You know what I mean? I used to
Yeah.
get my ass whooped when, for that stuff.
Do you
man.
watch? Do you guys both watch a lot of anime?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Big anime fan.
What's your go-to right now? What's at the top of your list?
I really like Chainsaw Man.
Oh, dude,
That one was pretty good.
Respect.
Is that a man made completely out of chainsaws?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, legit.
Basically spot on.
Legit.
Chainsaw arms, chainsaw legs,
Yeah.
chainsaw head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, he fights demons and he gets possessed by. He had one that was a pet. He gets possessed by this demon and he turns into literally a man of chainsaws, like straight up. And
And
then
he makes out with a lady and she throws up in his mouth because she's drunk.
yeah.
Every
Yeah,
episode,
actually,
I mean,
that's
every
why I
issue.
That happened one episode, but I mean, it was. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, hey, I'm with it. You know what I
Because
mean?
this is a comic book or this is
This is
an
anime.
anime show.
It's anime, but it's like a manga too,
Yeah.
which is like a comic book.
Mhm.
Most
Is that-
animes are like also based off of
They
mangas.
usually start as mangas. I think Chainsaw Man, if you ask me, it's on its way up. Demon Slayer is king right now, but I love Chainsaw Man. I love he's not the hero in every anime. Most animes, like the hero guy is like this guy who's just like all positive and I'm doing this for, to make life better. You know
I'm
what
going
saying?
to
And-
prove that I can do the best,
Yeah.
and nobody is
and-
going to
yeah,
stop
and
me.
Nobody, yeah, that's their whole thing is like self-determination. But this guy's like, I want to fuck. Like that's his whole like. And he's like, it's actually pretty awesome to be
He
like,
just wants to touch boobs.
yeah, that's it, dude.
That's
like,
why he's doing everything he
Yeah.
does. Because they'll be like, you could touch my boobs if you go kill this demon.
yeah, and this shit will be like destroying a city. He'll be like, yo, I'm about to fuck.
It's wild, dude. What? Anime is wild.
Yeah,
Anime is crazy,
it is-
especially you watch the weirder ones.
Yeah.
Like it gets nuts.
It's taking a
just
turn.
It's like all like borderline hentai, like
A
close.
lot of
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very sexual.
It's getting there. No, you're not getting there. It is. Have you watched? Did you watch Fairy Tale?
No, but
Fairy Tale. I mean,
yeah.
go back and watch. Fairy Tale is like it's supposed to be tailored for kids, but it's all like sex jokes and it's very weird and everything.
Most like women characters, they'll like have just skimpy outfits with huge breasts.
Huge, and they get like
Jiggle.
bigger by the episode. Like they'll just be like, there's no way.
I'm gonna burst.
Yeah, there's a character I watch. Records of Ragnarok. It's on Netflix. It's in its second season right now. It's a battle anime or whatever, and the characters of Aphrodite, they got the goddess of love, and she's literally just naked with statue dudes holding her titty. Like, and these things are like. That's her outfit. It's her naked sitting amongst these dudes holding like all her shit.
Is it all still Japanese first and then dubbed, like all of it, or is there American anime now?
There's some that's like it's like anime inspired.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you would consider it anime, but it's like it's like made in America, but you could tell there's like anime influence. Like
Yeah.
Avatar: The Last Airbender is kind of like an
Yeah,
American
it's-
anime, I would
yeah.
say, or
Was that an American show?
yeah,
That is
yeah.
an American show. It's accepted in the anime culture, which is because it's so well done. But yeah, it's an
Right.
American show. Most animes, yeah, they're in Japanese, and you can either watch subbed or dubbed. That's a big, that's a war. People like go to battle over that. Do you watch your animes in Japanese with subtitles, or do you watch your animes like once they've been dubbed over in English?
Well,
know?
how do you watch yours?
I mean, look, I look for as much English as I can because look, like I said, college did not go well for me, so I look for the English. But honestly, I'm not afraid to watch because there's not as many. I'm not afraid to watch it in Japanese with the subtitles because it is what it is. You know what I mean?
How do you do yours?
It depends. I mostly watch dub. Just I have an easier time connecting with the characters because I don't have to like read it and take the information to. I could kind of just listen to what. I don't know. I just have an easier time like
Yeah.
knowing what's going on.
I don't watch
sometimes.
anime, but I can tell you right now, I'm never fucking reading it. My girlfriend has been trying to get me to watch the first season of Squid Games, and I'm like, I don't
Really?
want to
But it's
read.
good.
Yeah.
I don't want to read.
Oh, but it is. But here's the thing, though. And this is why there's a conversation about it. The tropes that we use in America versus other countries are very different, right? So when you read it and they're like translating it from their language, there's like what they're saying is the same but slightly different, and it makes different context for the show. So you kind of get different things out of it. Now, as far as Squid Game goes, there is an English version. Just go change that audio. They do have English, so
But
just
see,
do it.
she wants to
But-
read. Like, she's being adamant about, like, no, you have to read it. You can't. You don't know. You don't watch the English. Like, she's.
And that's what people say. Yeah, and that's the you read it in Korean, so you know what they're saying and how they feel, and you can see that in some ways. But I'm with you, bro. Like, give me that English. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I'm watching TV. Like, you might as well just give me Squid Games the book. You might as well just give me because I'm like, then I'm looking like up at the, like, oh, now I'm watching. But I gotta read. But I'm watching action. But I gotta read. But I can watch. It's just not.
The longer you do it, it becomes a seamless transition. You don't notice, but you got to be like. Obviously, she's been watching things like that for years, so it's like I understand like how you can just do both. You know what I mean?
That and you can't even, like, let's say you're laying down and you literally just want to be like, I want to fucking like lay back for a second, close my eyes for 2 minutes, and I'm listening to the show right now.
Yeah.
And then you can't because then it's like.
No. Yeah. Nah, you should be locked in. So she's the type. So she's like she locks in when she watches anything, right? There's no like looking around or like doing other activities while good shows are on. And she like a
she's locked. She's locked and loaded.
Yeah.
If she's into it.
Yeah.
She's like if she recommends a movie and like I'm not paying full attention, she's like, fuck, like what's going, like, you know what I mean? Like, are you going to pay attention to are we watching the movie?
Yeah.
And then, like, when I'm trying to show her something, like, she's literally like, can I look anywhere except the TV?
Oh, me and my that's me and my wife are like that too, man.
And then she's not even like, it's an easy one when you're on your phone.
Yeah.
But she's not even like a crazy phone person. So it's like she's doing other stuff, but it's not the one thing that everyone does, which is your phone.
Yeah.
So it's like she truly is like, she'll be like, I'll be like, what do you do? Like, we'll just have sat down, the movie starting, and then she like gets up, and I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, I gotta go fucking file this. I gotta do a filing system. I gotta try out real quick. I'm like, what?
What?
Are you gonna watch this goddamn movie? And then I'm gonna be like, turn it off. I'm like, you know what? Don't even. Let's just watch.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Let's just fucking watch
the
90
pause,
Day Fiance.
That is the power move right there, man. The pause when you're like, you just, boop. All right, let's have a minute. Like, we need to address each other first before we get it. Because I get like that too whenever I'm trying to show my wife something or watch a movie with her, and then I'm not even watching the movie. I'm like staring at her like, are you?
Yeah, 100%.
That's another thing. Is like I want to know if she's getting the same thing out of it that I'm getting. So I'm like, did you see that? I'm like, yo, did you see that? Did you see that? That's important. I'm that guy. I don't know how.
Yeah, I get pissed like in movie theaters when I'm watching like a movie with a group of people and somebody walks to the bathroom. I get kind of irritated. Like, like you're gonna miss one line.
Oh yeah,
you dipshit.
Don't
hold it.
My mother used to. My mother downloaded this app, and she was the worst about that shit. There was an app that used to exist where you can like time the movie. If you go see a movie, you time it. You hit the start of this app, and it will tell you when the movie is not important, and you can go take a pee break.
Oh, wow.
And so she had that shit.
What? That's intense. I say just empty the bladder before.
Yeah, nah. She was just like and then it would vibrate, and then you pull out, and it was just like this little yellow drip would be on the on the screen, and she's like, "Oh, I can go pee now." And then she would like get up and go. And the worst thing, but my mom was always like, "Who else is coming to pee with me?" And I'm like, "I'm watching the Transformers, man. What the hell is wrong with you?" Like,
This is it. This is the perfect time.
Yeah, exactly. But
it's now.
It's right now. You know what I mean? When like she didn't want to go before, but this is also before when like she never wanted to book like a seat assignment. She just wanted to show up and like buy the ticket. You know what I mean? So
now I mean movies are so much different than they were like 5 or 6 years ago. Like they're all long. They're all like seat assigned, and then now they have. Have you guys either of you been to the movies and seen those D-box seats? Those seats that like move.
Yeah. I went to go see Spider-Man in one of the new Spider-Man movie.
I don't think it's good. I don't think that it's a good thing. I don't think though. I don't feel like those are going to catch on and be like the thing. I don't think they would do that unless you were going to get the like a VR experience.
Yeah, it's very tough. Because I've gone to those movies a few times with that function. You know what I mean? Like where the seats move and they spray like water at you. You know what I mean? And they like sprinkling like smells and stuff to make it like. And they have not figured it out yet because it's still just like a roller coaster inside a movie theater. And
But you know what they have figured out? Have you Dave and Buster's? Have you been on their VR stuff? Have you seen like what like it's like a little attraction looking thing? It's just like a platform. Like you go up some stairs, like 4 stairs, and then it's like you're on like a platform, and then you sit in these like seats. They put a seatbelt on you, and then you have the VR shit. Mm-hmm. And then the one that we did was Top Gun, and you're literally just in a fighter jet and you have the thing, so you are shooting, and stuff.
Sick.
Yeah, and it's just like dude. I'm like, when they can come up with something at home that can give you it just still seems like you would need a room. You would need a completely like electronic room that's like, this is like the seat of a car. This is
people got their VR shits and everything, but it's like you said, they still got wands and everything like that, and like it's still very awkward to do at home. You know what I mean? Like it's not immersive, and I think that's what you're talking about, right? You had to be like fully immersive.
Have you guys been to one of those like VR like sandbox things or a place that does VR at all?
No,
I want to go. I always want to like go try it out. It's one of those things that then I don't. You know, in malls.
There's one in Irvine, dude. You can go. We can go. There's Spectrum.
There's one at the Spectrum, and then a lot I've noticed when I went to like the Westminster Mall in the last year that it's like it has a couple of different like VR places where you like just go. It makes sense.
Yeah,
that's actually what I feel like they should. Like, I'm surprised they haven't like gutted out an entire mall and then just turn that into like a VR map.
Yeah, it's I'm surprised they haven't done that either. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's just taking off, bro. You know what I mean? We went to Vegas last year, and like, the VRs are in like they're in all the hotels. They're like it's everywhere, dude. Like this shit is really taking off. People are trying to escape Earth. You know
Have you seen the Apple? Have you like seen the Apple Vision? Did you guys watch that stuff when it came out a couple months ago? Did you watch the like? They're coming out with their augmented reality set. It comes out next year. It's $3,500. So it's like that's. Where it's like
sounds pretty cheap. Sounds like everybody's gonna have one.
you put on a headset and then you can see through the headset, so it gives you like an augment. You can see around you and shit.
Oh, like them Tony Stark type shits.
Yeah,
okay.
And then so it showed one of the main things I'm interested in. You can have your computer screen then become this huge, like it's all these screens in front of you, and I'm just wondering if you can use that with like editing programs, because if I can like be using Premiere and have like shits open here and be doing all that, like that's fucking wild.
That's coming, dude. That's coming. I mean, honestly, it's not that it's coming, it's here. You know what I mean? What it is all this stuff like probably does exist, you know, at very high levels of like power and government and intelligence and stuff like that, and they just slowly dumb it down so that they can give it
so it's affordable.
Yeah,
like that's the other thing is it's like
exactly.
I saw this $1,500 Transformer toy. It's like Grimlock, the dinosaur transformer that fully could transform on its own. And then you have an app, and you could make it like do all these like moves and.
Oh, 50. Who's getting to have that $1,500 toy? Like it
scares the shit out of me.
I want that so bad.
They built an actual just transformer with alien technology. It's an actual.
I was like, is it just a transformer?
Like transform it like legit like turns into.
That's how all those movies like start, right? They just be like hanging out and
the way that it moves, it like has all these like dynamic. It's not stiff. It can actually move. It's kind of
the technology for that has been around for a while. Just like movable, like matter, 3D printing, all that shit. Like that. But that is like in the movie. Like they just like there's like the what is it? The Allspark. It like turns your shit into a fucking transformer. Like, do they really? They have that shit. I knew the Allspark was real, bro. These movies don't just be getting made up, bro. Okay, that's for real, dude.
Sam Witwicky, the Allspark.
Sam Witwicky, that nigga lived down the street from me, bro. I know this. I know this shit is real, bro.
Shia LaBeouf,
man,
we need you.
I can't believe they can't get him in any more of them Transformers. I wonder if he's in the new one. Have you guys seen the newest one?
I haven't seen the newest one, but I don't believe that he is. But are they trying to get him in?
I don't think so. But I'd love to see it.
I feel like he's just too much. I feel
like no.
He's too problematic. Like too much of a like. And I don't even mean that as in like he's like there's necessarily something crazy wrong with him. I mean more of like he difficult. That's what I was going for. Difficult.
Oh yeah, no, he is. Is this the shit right here?
Look at this thing.
God
Look at that.
damn, bro, that's a fucking real transformer,
Look at
bro.
that.
I'm telling you.
Did it just twerk?
It could twerk.
If it's up, then it's stuck, my bro. Like this.
You could take it out for a date.
Yo, look at this
Oh
shit.
yeah, they got Optimus Prime too. Did they have Optimus Prime where you could get the back of his truck and that
Twerking.
transform?
Dude, this shit does it on its own, bro. Do you remember
Look,
when we were
look
kids
at
and,
this.
and you got remember the Power Rangers and you got hit each piece
Oh,
and
yeah.
then
Oh,
you
yeah.
wanted to. You know what I mean? This shit does it on its own now.
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
fucking crazy? Nah,
And then you lost a leg for sure of the Power
Oh,
Rangers.
man,
That
that-
you lost one. You,
My mother got me every piece but the Red Ranger actual faceplate piece. So I had the full body of
it's
it.
like the headless horseman.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It was so I would just stick my Power Rangers in that. So and then pretend like they were you know how they would do the scenes in the
Yeah.
so I would be in my head, I'm like, we're in it. Blah, blah, blah.
You made up a new thing.
it's like, yeah, you gotta do what you can get, man. You know what I mean?
That's how I did with my toys when they were broken. I'd be like, well, Wolverine, he lost his arm.
Yeah,
And,
you
the
gotta give him a
leg.
backstory.
He never has an arm.
It's like, yeah, nigga, I wrote Logan when I was 5 years in my house.
Michelangelo, he broke his arm at the elbow where the ball wouldn't go back in.
Yeah.
Like you know those where because it was just you could snap it back in, but then it would break and just be like, now it's broken forever. Very flawed toys.
Yeah.
The worst.
Those early Ninja Turtles toys.
Yeah, I had the Power Rangers with the buttons on the back where they would you hit
Oh,
the ball.
yeah.
The switch? Or
Yeah, exactly.
I had a really cool Batman that I got at the Toys R Us just over by where the rec room. It's not a toy; it's like a Hobby Lobby now. But it used to be a Toys R Us. I remember going there and picking out a Batman with a Batmobile and stuff. But he looked like it was a weirder. It was in the late '90s when they came out with a newer a new Batman cartoon, and Bruce Wayne was a little more Playboy.
Right.
It was
right.
that guy.
Are you talking about Tim Conroy Batman?
I don't know who it was. I
that
just
might be.
remember it was. I mean, this was probably in '96.
Yeah, it had to be Tim Conroy. Is the thing. But man, Toys R Us. Can we talk about Toys R Us? Because I miss it, and I feel like my kid is gonna be really deprived of an experience that shaped me growing up. Going to a Toys R Us and just even being told you can't buy anything, but it's just you could just go. You know what I mean?
Well, just
It's
seeing all the toys all in one place
Yeah.
at once. Remember,
Kid
or,
Mecca.
or KB Toys?
KB Toys.
KB
dude, that
Toys,
was the
dude.
place.
You
I
don't.
love KB
Amazon
Toys.
Prime does not give you the KB Toys experience. You know what I
No,
mean? You don't
no.
get that same experience in the Amazon queue online. You gotta go and remember when they would keep the little toys in the little thing, and they just they be all over the floor. You know what I'm saying? And
And if you couldn't get it, you kind of just wanted to play with it there.
yeah, and you would
you'd
would
be
stay
all-
there. Your mom be like, "Don't go." They should be like, "Don't go where I can't see you." Be like, "I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I will be here. If you leave, you can go for hours. I will be here, Mom. Trust me, because I'm playing."
I mean, KB Toys. I
toys.
mean, this is before, this is when Pokemon cards first came out. That's where I
Yeah.
bought all. That's the place I bought Pokemon cards. It wasn't some card shop or anything. It was just going to KB Toys and buying Pokemon cards.
Got everything from KB Toys, man. That was my mom, and then it was real. Our parents were way more lax as far as watching their kids, which is why so many kids got kidnapped in the '90s. But you show up to the mall, and then my mom would honestly show up to the mall and then just leave me and my brother
Yep.
at KB Toys. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Seven and fucking 5. We just at the KB Toys and then she's shopping, doing whatever she wants around the whole mall while we there.
And then there's the Cerritos. Did you go to the Cerritos Mall?
Yeah.
So the Cerritos Mall, the KB Toys was right by the food court, and I don't think that was an accident because they know when you go to the mall, you're probably gonna go eat, and then the kid sees the toy store and the pet shop
Okay.
were
Oh,
right
yeah.
next to each other, right by the
Next
the
to
food
the
court.
Chinese food, you
It-
yo man, and the free samples, bro. That's the prime location right there.
Dog store's really close to the Chinese shop.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that was. They just go missing all of a sudden.
If you don't buy this dog, you could buy it for dinner.
Yeah, It's like, we'll make use of it.
Don't love it? Eat it.
And those dogs in the dog store of the mall would always be so expensive.
Yeah,
So, because I would remember, it's any dog we would get, my parents would spend maybe a few $100s at most,
yeah,
right? And then you would go see the dogs in that store, and they would legitimately be like, "Oh yeah, this dog's $2,500," and this is this is the early 2000s. It's not like
Yeah.
I'm saying this is like now where with inflation and shit. Like this was like a real
Oh yeah,
$2,500.
and, yeah. These dogs. It's not why. I mean, like, because you can rescue dogs. You know what I mean? But I think you were paying for those display cases they kept the dogs in. You know what I mean? Them shits used to be like, fuck. They'd have like all the little like toys and the little crumbly paper on the bottom.
You were
and,
paying for like that's how you
Yeah.
that was how you the experience of that's how you got your dog.
Yeah, yeah. The memory. You're paying for the memory.
That's what like where you go like I went to the store and we like visited the dog. Look, so we gotta go back. Come on. Come on, Mom. Can we bring Dad back tonight? Mom, like if we just but Mom. Can we bring Dad back
the
tonight?
person at the store is like, he's great with children. You know what I mean? It's just like, you trying to make a sale.
Okay.
Get out of here.
But if we get this dog, you can't go to college.
yeah.
But Mom, I don't need to go. Like if I
Yeah.
have a dog,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't need to go to college.
I would have picked dog over college any day.
Okay.
It's like a dog. Give it. You see Air Bud? Air Bud was the biggest movie on the planet. It's like, yeah, no, give me an Air Bud.
Well, let's see how good the dog plays basketball, Mom. Let's see how good the dog
Can we
plays.
at least try that?
Um,
Man, I can't tell you how many times you toss a basketball to like. I used to have this. I had a little like a Chihuahua, but I'd be like tossing my basketball and just be like, "You're not the same, man." You know what I mean? Like just playing basketball with your pets.
you
is,
just like dunked it. You like picked it up and just jumped.
that would have been nuts if
there.
that shit really happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like kids have like way cooler like if you're as a parent you're lucky that like the movies aren't nearly as terrible as like Air Bud.
Right.
They could be out there, but I feel like you can.
Well, hold on. Air Bud 1 was legit.
Classic.
You know what I mean? that's a classic. You know
Dude,
what I'm
Air
saying?
Bud 1 is not.
I mean,
like
honestly,
a Homeward Bound, dude.
it's not. I mean, no. Well, I mean, Homeward Bound is.
Yeah, that's what
that's
I'm
an
saying.
emotional. That's more of an emotional roller coaster than like a tale of triumph, like Air Bud. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. Like I mean, at least give Air Bud and Air Bud Golden Receiver. Now, when he started playing like volleyball and hockey, I'm like, I don't need that. You know what I mean?
This
But
week on ESPN 30 for 30, Air Bud.
I think they made like a parody of that. I really think they did.
I'm sure. Like,
Like I know they did the parody Space Jam 30 for 30, where it was like that shit was legit. I don't know if you've seen that before. That's real. They faked the Space
Did you
Jam.
see the new Space Jam? It was just like a Warner Brothers commercial. Basically,
Oh, my
it was
God,
pretty
yeah.
insane. Just
no,
like-
it's like no charm to it.
no, not really. It's
Yeah.
like you just see all these random characters that are Warner.
Mhm.
You see like Rick and Morty makes an appearance.
It's so
and you're
yeah,
like,
it's
wow.
so
Oh,
funny that it's
Jesus.
like it's a Space Jam that like does not appeal to kids like today's kids, like because all them characters are still the ones we knew like
Yeah.
as adults and everything.
Or like Pennywise is in the background.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like-
it's like-
yeah.
yeah.
Like every they put like most any Warner Brothers
it really-
is in the audience watching the basketball games
because
You
they
see
play
all
this
these-
basketball game inside the internet, so it's like all these characters.
Oh,
like,
so they don't take
Yeah.
them. Oh, okay. So that's like they don't take them to the Toon World. They take them to the to the internet.
Well, the
and
concept is that like the Looney Tunes are they're like old and washed up, so nobody like cares about them but LeBron
Right.
James, I guess. so like so they're the ones that the Looney Tunes save the internet. Like that's the whole concept of the. Of the
Oh
movie.
my fucking god,
Yeah,
dude! Like,
exactly.
I think Don Cheadle is the bad guy.
Yeah, Don Cheadle. Yeah, he plays the internet, and he's
Yeah,
he's
like,
the
yeah, it's really weird.
it's fucking nuts.
I heard the original internet was going to be played by Terrence Howard, man.
Yeah, no, they make, and then they have like they're playing evil. The Monstars are like basketball players that have been like digitally altered. They have like Klay Thompson and Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard is his Dame time, and he's just like this robot that goes like.
It would be funny if the bad guys were like basketball players that did bad things in real life. It's like the Monstars are comprised of like this dude that beat his wife.
No, it's like Dennis Rodman, Karl Malone, like all the worst. Bad. Who else? Fucking Zach Randolph. Like anybody. I'm trying to start.
Lamar Odom.
Yeah, Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom was he? Oh yeah, Lamar Odom. Yeah, because he had.
No,
he did the
Ron
crack.
Artest. Wait, who's the one? Ron Artest, the one that punched. I'm thinking of whoever punched the fan.
Yeah, that was Ron Artest. No, Ron Artest, Jermaine O'Neal, anybody on that
Yeah.
roster of the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah.
that
Like
was
just that Indiana Pacers. That
Steven
would-
Jackson. Like, it's
Dude,
like, yeah.
how funny would that be? Okay, so back in it may have been 90s, might have been early 2000s. There was like a game. Was it in Indiana? Was that where they were playing?
Are you talking about the Malice at the
Yeah.
Palace? They
Oh.
played that at Detroit.
There's a game where they just a fan threw something onto the court.
Do a
the
beer.
Players went into the stands I mean, arguably, deservedly, arguably, you got to just keep composure because you're millionaires, and beat up the fans.
Yeah, it
And
became
punch them. And it's called literally the name. I forgot that it had Malice at the Palace because the Detroit arena was called the Palace.
And it's like a bunch of the team.
Yeah, the team went. It was just one
It
person.
started with Ron Artest going after a fan, and then like Detroit Ben Wallace chased after Ron Artest, and then like all these like players and stuff because they're just jumping in. It becomes a huge brawl, and then these fans make their way onto the court, and this one dude who isn't even the dude that threw the beer, but he's like charging a player, and this 6'10" Jermaine O'Neal cold cocks him in the. I don't know if you can. I've seen this punch so many times. Yeah, this is it right here. Just look at this. It starts out with like players. It's like okay, whatever. You know what I mean? Like this happens all the time. Like, we shove each other. Ooh, sweating. You know what I mean? Coaches get involved. Like this is not going to lead to anything, right? But just watch how this shit progresses in the next few minutes.
So it actually looks like they're starting to break it up. Like they're
like it's all normal basketball. Dudes taking off the headbands like, "What's up? What's up?" Like it is. But this guy, this is when it takes a turn.
Yeah.
This is like some professional wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at that.
Oh, then you see another guy.
All guy comes in, bam. You know what I mean? But this is really happening. They're like stomping these dudes out. You know what I'm saying? Like it is.
Did you see this live?
Oh yeah, I saw this game. And I remember where I was watching this game. Yeah, I remember watching this game.
So those dudes that were doing the fighting, with the fans, they're the Indiana Pacers, and the Detroit. They're playing at the Detroit Pistons arena, and this is so it's like that's why like at the end it's like they're literally in their house, so they're just throwing all the beer and all the like popcorn.
It was such like it was crazy because at this time these are probably the two best teams in the league. You know what I mean? So they're probably going to meet in the Eastern Conference to have a chance to play the championship. So it's a very heated game. And it was 2004 when this happened, I think. So it's like I'm in middle school, love basketball, think I'm going to the league. You know what I mean? So I'm like, man, this is exciting. You know what I mean? And then when shit break, and this is before they were like really quick at like cutaways or like anything like they didn't know what to do. So you're just watching this shit happen on fucking TV. Like there's it's no stopping it. And it's just. It sticks out so much in history. And now they have a documentary. You seen a documentary about it?
I have not, but what I was getting at with this is that I think it would be hilarious. It was a missed opportunity in the new Space Jam to just have that be who the bad guys are. Like that team. Like it would just be such a good joke. I can't see how it would make the movie endearing. That's what they should have done. Is it's just those
great way to bring it all around.
Just like they beat up like all you said. Then you have the Warner Brothers people in the stands, and then they end up fighting the fans in the stands.
Yeah, that would be awesome. If like the Looney Tunes start throwing hands.
Yeah, like it's just a missed opportunity. I mean, obviously they're not going to do that because that's not how the fucking world works. They want to more like push that shit down.
They're punching the granny in the crowd. Just like
oh no, man! If Warner Brothers would get a little world star in them, like that shit, they don't understand. Like you don't understand the type of
Warner Brothers isn't the one that's making DC stuff, are they?
Yeah, they're the one.
Well, see, they took a chance with that Flash guy. That's a fucking creeper, right? They took a chance.
He's like a horrible person.
I know.
Apparently.
that's where they took their chance.
But like Marvel won't take a chance with Jonathan Majors, who he choked a woman in the street. But like, look, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, it's like,
right.
But have you seen him act?
He's playing a villain. You know what I'm saying? Like
he's supposed to be like the Thanos guy.
That dude, he's gonna lose in the end, right? So like, I get to watch him fail and then put him in prison. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me the movie still. You know, that's all I'm saying. No, that's messed up.
Kevin Feige's just like, you had to punch that woman.
He's like, well, no, actually, in real life, I think they found out he didn't do it. Like, it came out that he didn't do it. So Marvel's gonna bring him back. And
really?
Yeah.
I thought
his variant didn't do it.
Yeah, his variant,
yeah, in the multiverse. In the multiverse, he didn't do it. This has happened in the multiverse somewhere.
It did. But he jumped to an alternate timeline and killed this Jonathan Majors, and then he's like, I didn't do it, brother. You know what I mean? Yeah, no.
That's funny.
Life is a movie, man. Aliens are coming. So
aliens are coming. I think that's a good place to end it.
I love that.
This was very fun. Where can people find you, Dakota?
You can follow my Instagram at Dakota Comedy Master, and also I'll have a Kickstarter coming out for a comic I wrote soon called Goliath, so that'll probably be posted on there.
Fuck yeah. We have to come back and talk about that.
Yeah.
What about you, Dwayne? Do you have like a doctor Instagram yet?
Not yet. I'm on his, it's still Murphy Jr. jokes, which should be like Murphy Jr. meds. That's actually really good. I should do that. Now, my wife told me that I should start a podcast like talking about like my journey from like comedy to becoming a doctor. I think it's ridiculous, but I might do that. I don't know.
You should. I mean, if you have any interest in podcasting, you should do a podcast because maybe me and Xavier were talking about this before you came over. It's like you are really good at podcasting. Like
yeah,
you're
I mean, I did
on a podcast.
I did used to have one, yeah.
And
so
talking, you like wrap things up. I think that's like what I'm not good at. Like I just want to like really just communicate my idea, right? Like, and I get like caught up. I'm thinking about a million things a second the whole time I'm doing it. I'm like, whether it's my podcast or not, but you like wrap everything up in like a nice little fucking thing and say it and like, oh, now we're gonna end the sentence, and it makes it sense that this is where it ended.
yeah,
Shit like that.
Well,
so
thank
you do
you,
like a
yeah.
good. Like,
So I'm gonna do that. So just follow. I'm gonna do it. All right, I'm coming. It's like-
hell yeah. And just check out my website, heykenny.com. It has my socials, these podcasts, live tour dates, all that shit. This one was really fun.
Yeah, it was, man. Thank you for having me, man. Thank you.
Of course, dudes.
For sure.
Bye.